What's going on, guys? My name is Doug, as most of you already know, and today, happy Friday, by the way, to everybody out there watching this video. Today we got a new Travis Scott song, Highest in the Room. Now, I'm gonna be honest, this is not going to be a first reaction because I actually heard this song back when it first leaked, and I've been waiting for it for a while now. So I've heard it before and I know more or less what it sounds like, but I'm still going to be dissecting it, telling you guys about the production, some of the mixing elements, and hopefully pointing out some of the details in this track that you guys might not have noticed before. So we're going to be listening to it, talking about it, dissecting it, and doing that today. We've got lots of content to get to today, actually. A lot of albums came out, a lot of songs came out, and so I'm going to try to keep this straight, short, to the point, and yeah, just provide some entertainment for you guys on this beautiful Friday so that you guys can watch this video and move on to the next ones. And yeah, just get on with your lives. So with that being said, don't forget to support the channel by subscribing, supporting the Patreon, following me on my social media. Let's get into the song. This is Highest in the Room by Travis Scott. Let's get to it. There's a whole lot to talk about with this track, man. So we'll pause it there. I want to tell you guys some stuff about this so far and what I heard. So forgive me for the birds, by the way, in the background. They never shut up. The neighbors keep throwing food for the birds out in the middle of the street, and they land in there, and yeah. Anyways, so at the beginning we get that really warbly synth. You know, it almost sounds like an alien, you know, beaming up the cow into the UFO. That little sound effect that they used to use in like the old cartoons. That's almost what that synth sounds like, which kind of makes sense because in this video, you know, for the Spotify track, there's like aliens in the background, so it also sets that tone. And at the same time, there are some like little subtle keys going on in the background along with that synth. And that goes on for a little bit before we finally get Travis Scott saying absolutely nothing. You know, he basically just kind of starts the song off with a, I don't know, that's all you can understand. But anyways, at first we get that really cool guitar loop playing those hammer-on notes, you know, da-da-da-dum. It's very bouncy, and part of what makes that guitar sound so great is definitely the mixing that they did on the guitar. You know, they ran it through a filter, an amp, something like that to make it sound really bright and to make it really fit that tone of the track, that ethereal tone to this song. It sounds absolutely great, and like I said, those hammer-on notes, the little twiddly parts, the little riff is absolutely great. And we get very minimalistic drums at first. We only get a couple hi-hat triplets and rolls, the 808, and the clap and snare on every 2 and 4, right? And those are the first few measures of the song. And it already sounds great, but the focus, you know, the bounce of the track comes mainly from that guitar loop until Travis finally goes into the, what does he say? Hope I make it out of here, is that what he says? Hope I make it out of here. Yeah, when he says, hope I make it out of here, we get that punchy kick right on the downbeat, and we get the 16th note hi-hats keeping time. And what that does is it takes this track from being really good to something very different and special, and it gives us this sense of progression to the song, even though all they did was add a kick and extra hi-hats, you know? It kind of makes you go from, wow, this sounds good, to, you know, oh my god, this is filthy. We get the kicks that they hit more often than the 808s did in the first portion of the track to kind of fill out the track and give it more of a sense of, it makes it feel more full. It gives the track oomph. You know, we get extra kicks, and the hi-hats keeping time add to that bounce. You know, they really do something special to the track. And plus, we continue with those hi-hat triplets and rolls that we had previously. So that sense of progression from the eerie synths to the minimalistic drums paired with the guitar loop to having the full-on drums with tons of kicks, the 16th note hi-hats keeping times, the triplets, the rolls, the snare, the clap, paired with that guitar and Travis's elevation. You know, he goes up a few notes when he's singing his melodies. You know, he starts off that first portion of the track singing kind of low, and then he actually takes the melodies up a little bit when the track progresses. It makes us feel like there is progression. It makes us feel like the track is advancing and evolving in such a short period of time. It's only been 30 seconds. And that's something that Travis has always managed to do very well. You know, along the tracks, he gives us beat switches, he modifies a bunch of different sounds in his tracks in order to keep the song the song's sense of progression as we listen, you know. So in a very short period of time, he's able to take us through a bunch of different stages. It's something that he does really well, and it's something that I was able to appreciate on this track after a couple listens, that I feel like maybe if I were listening to this for the first time, I wouldn't have been able to point out to you guys. Let's keep listening. This song is great, so.
She saw my eyes, she know I'm gone. I'm doing a show, I'll be back soon.
He also added another layer to the snare for this portion of the track. If you listen to the section with just the 808 and the clap, he definitely added another layer to that snare to make it hit a little harder when the kicks come in.
Now I got it in my room. Legs wrapped around my beard.
Going back into the synths.
You say you love me, don't you lie?
So he took us back to that synth, the first part of the track, but this time we actually get vocals over it, and he's singing in that very hushed delivery that he sometimes gives us, where he's almost whispering. It's very soft, but we get the vocalizing in the background, the ad-libs, to give us, again, a sense that, okay, the melody is the same as it was in the beginning, but this is different. There's progress here. You know, it's done so well. The delay, the ad-lib, the vocalizing, it's all so perfect. This right here is so awesome, bro. These synths are everything. It definitely feels like on the album that's going to transition into something absolutely unreal, you know. That ending portion of the track doesn't feel like an ending so much as a transition, for sure. Bringing the pianos in along with those synths and Travis all the way in the background singing is just, it's such an awesome ethereal experience. That's I feel personally is going to transition into something insane on the project. So yeah, I know I paused the track a few times in order to give you guys the breakdown of what was going on during the song, but I feel like there's just so many little details that if I hadn't paused it, I would have, you know, just full out forgotten to mention them. So yeah, that's the reasoning for that. So this song, man, it's just shy of 3 minutes long. And there's so much that goes on to it. I see it as having 3 specific sections in terms of the production. We get those eerie synths, we get the guitar loops with the very minimalistic drums, and we have the guitar loops with the full-on drums, the hard-hitting kicks, and the hi-hats, right? The 16th note hi-hats. And then after that, it's all just different variations of those 3 main sections, right? We go back into that first ethereal synth section with Travis vocalizing and the guitars being played softly in the background, to going back into that second portion with the minimalistic drums, and then going back into the harder hitting drums, and then back again. You know, it's just all leading up to that climax at the end, with the transition into what's going to be the next song after this on the project. All of this, you know, all the parts sounding distinct but still weaving into one another, it was all executed so well by Travis to give us a sense of progression and a sense of almost like a controlled chaos, distinct sections that all tie together with eerie synths, with great guitars, you know, with all these different elements and layers that he just puts together to kind of like pick apart and dissect with every single listen. There's new things that you catch, there's different things that you hear, and there's just so much going on in such a short period of time, which means that the mixing has to be great in order to keep every single element in line and to keep it all volume-wise under control so that nothing is extremely overpowering. I mean, even those harsh synths towards the end, they don't feel like they overpower the rest of the track. They still feel like they're not too harsh to the point where they're hurting your ears, you know, things like that go into making a song like this. It was all very well executed, and you know, that's, I feel like one of the reasons why it took him a while to drop this is because he had to work on all those little elements. And I know it's not just him, there's an engineer, there's the producer, you know, there's everybody who worked on the song, but it's those tiny little details for me and my personal listening experience that make this track so special and interesting and fun to listen to. You know, not only does it sound great and catchy and fun, but at the same time, the admiration for the entire process that went into creating this song just completely adds to that experience for me. It's partially why I love making these videos, because I get to take those little elements and those little details that go into making a song and show you guys, so that you guys can appreciate the tracks a little more in the same way that I do. So yeah, I love that song. I've been waiting for it for so long, and it did not disappoint. I can't wait to hear what comes after it on the project. I'm hoping that Travis comes with something absolutely mind-blowing, you know, but we'll see whenever he does drop that. Let me know what you guys thought of this song in the comment section. Let me know what you guys thought about the analysis, the video, and yeah, like I said, I've got other videos to record today, so I will see you all in another video very soon. Until then, guys, stay safe, support the channel any way that you possibly can. I really appreciate you all. Peace out.